Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are doing Christmas DIYs. I'm going to share with you some of the Christmas decor ideas that are trending for 2022. I'm going to tell you what to look for when you go to the thrift store. And I'm also going to give you some ideas to take some of the decor that you already have and make it modern and new again. Let's get started. It's a bit early. Some of us just got done decorating for fall, and for us here in South Florida, this is our first week with some cooler temperatures. So I'm sitting in front of an open door, the breeze is coming in, it's beautiful, the birds are chirping, and this really is my favorite time of year. But it's never too early to start planning your Christmas decor. I'm not one to particularly follow trends, but I do like looking at what's trending because it does give fresh perspective when decorating. In the last couple of weeks, I've been looking at all the Christmas decor that's coming out on a lot of the websites. I looked at my favorite West Elm, Our House, McGee & Co, and even Target. So I pulled out some of the ones that were consistent amongst all of them and ones that I liked. Anyway, enough chatting, enjoy the video, and if you're not a subscriber, I hope you consider subscribing, like this video, and let me know in the comments what was your favorite DIY. One of the most popular I have seen are these little ceramic Christmas villages. Simple houses, cottages, and churches done in all white with optional tea lights on the inside to give the look of light-filled homes. So of course, I started keeping an eye out for the little houses. These have been around forever, and you can find a lot of them on the shelves at the thrift store. Instead of the traditional multiple colors, we're going to paint them all white. Most of these are a little more detailed than our inspiration, but once they're all white, they get that modern and simple look. These are the ones I picked up. I got 4 of them. They were each a little bit different. This one looked like a hobby piece, like someone painted it themselves. It was $2.99. I got this at the Goodwill. This one is a little bit tall and slender, which I liked. This was $3.99. I got this at American Thrift Store. I think I got half price. I paid $2 for this one. This one, a little bit chubby looking, but I do like. This was $3.99. I got this at the American Thrift Store as well, and I do like the little Christmas trees at the back, and I also like that it had this opening on the bottom so I can put a tea light in there and get, the light coming through the little windows. This one did come with its own light, which was nice, and I really like the little sign on the front with the service times and the little garland and the little tree. I really like that, so I kind of kept those and did everything else white. This one was also $4.99 at the Goodwill. First things first, with any thrifted item, I always give it a good cleaning. If it can go underwater, it goes underwater and it gets a good scrubbing. Other than that, I wipe it really well, disinfect everything, because you never know where these items came from, what they've been through, all the way to getting into your home. So it's always a good idea to make sure you clean really well before doing anything. Or even if you were to keep them the way they are, you should always clean your thrifted items really well. So before I painted them, like I said, with this one, I really like the little sign on the front, so I covered that with some painter's tape and also the little garland at the top. Now you can use any white. If you have regular wall paint, you can use spray paint, any white paint that you have on hand. Using a can of paint is actually much easier when you have items that have all these little intricate details. It makes it a lot easier than using a brush, and of course a lot faster. Spray paint tends to dry really fast, so you can get your project done a lot quicker. Okay, so they are all dried, but once I brought them inside, I realized they were not white enough. It looked white outside in the natural light, but not so much on the inside. I had some white paint on hand. Luckily, I am currently painting a couple of the bedrooms, so this was pretty easy and available. I used a stencil brush and went over all of them. And just so you guys know, I've put links in the description below to all the items I'm using for these Christmas DIYs. Everything with the exception of the thrifted items. Another item I've been seeing a lot of are tree sculptures. Now, trees are not new to Christmas, but definitely a modern take with all the neutrals. Different wood stains, black, browns, and metallics. I picked these up at the thrift store as well. I paid a total of about, I want to say around $18 for all 4 of them. One of them had some damage to the top, so the first thing I did after cleaning them was to put some spackling at the top and fill in that space. For this vignette, I'm using these 3 metallic colors and doing 2 in the same and then 1 each in the other 2 colors. These DIYs are very, very simple. It's just about knowing what to look for in terms of the item and then simple spray paint. Here's another item that's been around forever, but again, we're seeing so many neutrals, metallics, and lots of layered texture. Plaids remain a favorite and the traditional red and green. What's nice about this DIY is you can use any round Christmas ornaments that you already have. I'm using these from the dollar store. There are 2 sizes, and I also got this twine from the dollar store. It's a pack of 3. Not sure if they're sold like this anymore. I picked this up last year, but they always have this type of twine available at the dollar store. I picked up this fabric at Hobby Lobby a few days ago. I wanted to get as close to the Pottery Barn version as possible, just to give you guys an idea of how you can recreate these high-end looks for a lot less. I got a 1/4 yard and it cost about $2 or $3, but what's nice is you guys can use any fabric that you have on hand that you're not using anymore. An old tablecloth, an old plaid shirt, or anything that has the colors and the print that you like. I didn't really have a step-by-step guide on how I was going to do this. I just estimated how much I would need, rounded the edges, and tied it up. Initially, I took the top off, but I did put it back on before I tied the fabric on because I needed to have it on to put the string through to be able to hang it. For the rest of the round ornaments, I'm using these 3 metallic spray paints along with Rub and Buff, Antique Gold, and Spanish Copper. This first one is this hammered finish, which didn't really reveal much of a hammered look, but we'll go with it. The next one I used the metallic dark copper, which is the same color I used on 2 of the little trees. I'm also going to be reusing 2 ornaments from last year. I didn't particularly like how those finishes came out, so I am just going to use those now and do these finishes on it. The third one, I'm using that metallic dark copper on half of it, and then I'm going to blend in the gold metallic color on the other half of it. I spray painted the tops in a color called Sunlit Brass. Once they were all dried, I added the Rub and Buff to create some texture and add dimension. The first one was the hammered copper. If you can believe, this was the hammered copper, not much hammer to it. I added antique gold using a stencil brush. And then the second one, which was the metallic dark copper, I also used the antique gold on there. Just randomly put it on. What's nice is you can add as little or as much as you like and create the look that you're going for. Somehow I didn't record this, but I did do the two smaller ornaments, one in the metallic dark copper, which I'm applying the same antique gold rub and buff on it, just like the bigger one. The smaller one I did do in the metallic color. For this one that has the half and half, I'm gonna use the rub and buff Spanish copper on the middle part, just kind of blend the two colors together using this copper. And then for the small ornament, I'm just going to use the same copper on the entire thing. You can put your own personality into it if you want it brighter, lighter, combination of colors that you want to use in your color scheme for your Christmas decor. You can use whites with golds, whatever colors that you like. I just happen to be going with a lot of these metallics, and I am going to be adding a touch of emerald green. That's going to be my color for this year. And I do have quite a bit of these ornaments, so I am going to do all my ornaments like this with different combinations of metallics, maybe an emerald green with some copper on it, combination of something along those lines. The next DIY are these wooden beaded garlands. This isn't my personal favorite. They are better suited for a boho or farmhouse style decor, but I happen to have a lot of these beads on hand. They were left over from a jewelry business my daughter and I had, and I just wanted to do something with them. I also had some suede string left, so I'm just going to put them on, alternating the bigger and the smaller size. Once I got to the end, I had quite a bit of the smaller size left, so I put an equal amount on each end. Here I'm making a couple of loops with what's left of the string, and then I'm tying it up together, and later I added a couple of those extra beads to the end. This turned out really beautiful. I won't recommend putting it on the tree. I think it's a little bit heavy. It may weigh down the branches, but it's perfect on a mantle or shelving or on the coffee table. And if you do want to recreate this one, just to let you know, I used about 150 8mm beads and about 50 of the larger ones, which is about 12mm. And I got 9 feet in total. Like I said earlier, if you want to recreate any of these Christmas DIYs, I have links in the description below to everything that I'm using. The next DIY are these wooden wall candle holders. I shared this on my last thrift haul video, and I got some great suggestions from you guys on what to do with them. One thing we all agreed on is that it needed to be black. So I am going to paint these black. I'm going to remove the mirror, and I'm using these dowels. I happen to have a couple packs of these that I bought for a previous project more than a year ago, and I didn't use them. I just had them there. So I am going to cut them to size. I'm going to remove the mirrors, and I'm going to put those on that inner part. Now I picked these up at the thrift store, and I have seen them quite a bit in different styles, but they're all very similar, wooden, antique looking, vintage looking. So I see these all the time. If you like the way these turned out, I suggest whenever you go to look out for these, and you're going to see them. They have a lot of them on the shelves. They don't all have mirrors, but they all have that inset that you can, do this with. And I think that these dowels and everything black on black makes it very modern. And what's really nice about these is you can just change out the colors of the candles, and it switches right into the different seasons. I'm going to show you guys the fall vibe. I'm going to show you guys the holiday vibe, so you can decide. One of the key Christmas trends for 2022 is nostalgic and vintage items. We're embracing traditions we love and had since our childhood. And as we look toward a Christmas with a little more normalcy again, we're seeing a return to celebrate the traditional. This trend incorporates the return of Christmas favorites, traditional colors, and classic Christmas ornaments. And what better place than the thrift store to find these authentic vintage items? And right along with the vintage classics are the brass items. Look at this little bell. You cannot go wrong with a bell ornament at Christmas. This was 99 cents at the Goodwill, and it did have this little engraving of like a garland around the tip of the bell. I also got this little pair of finger brass candle holders. Now you guys know from my previous thrifting videos, I have quite a bit of brass candlesticks, and I promise to not get any more, but this style really feels like a vintage Christmas to me. And I could not resist picking up this unique brass candle stand. It's in the shape of a trumpet, and to me this is ideal for Christmas decor. It was $9.99, a bit more than I would normally pay, but I think it was worth every penny because of its unique style. Now these items, you don't need to do anything to them, just clean them up, layer them in with your other Christmas decor, and they look beautiful. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed these Christmas DIYs and that it gives you some ideas for your Christmas decorating. And if you haven't already, be sure you subscribe, like this video, and let me know in the comments which DIY was your favorite. See you guys in the next video. Bye.